Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. I'm Emmanuel, I'm an Airbus pilot, and welcome to the approach tutorial in the fly-by-wire Airbus A380. We're about to reach 10,000 feet, and at 10,000 we are going to carry out our 10,000 foot flow pattern. And that flow pattern is divided into two halves. Let's start with the pilot flying's action, which is to set the EFIS control panel as appropriate, make sure that the constraints are selected on, select the LS if we are using either an ILS or an FLS approach, and be sure that any nav aids that may be required for the approach are tuned and identified as needed. The pilot monitoring is going to start on the overhead panel, turning the landing light on, ensuring that the seatbelt sign is turned on, constraints selected on the EFIS control panel, and LS selected if conducting an ILS or FLS approach on his side as well. And that concludes the 10,000 foot flow pattern. Remember once again that if we are flying in North America, we want to turn the landing light on a little bit earlier when going through 18,000 feet already. Now, below 10,000, once we're cleared to an altitude and with the local QNH set, we can conduct our approach checklist. So let's go ahead and go down to the checklists, select CL. Now by default we still have the departure change checklist over here, which we can simply click away. So let's just tick all those marks and then we can go over to the approach checklist. So let's select approach, and the first point here is Barrow reference, QNH 1014. You can see the seat belts are automatically ticked as the airplane is able to sense that all on its own. Then we have minimums, and we can read that from the top of our FMA, and if there is no minimum showing over here at this point in the approach, you most definitely want to help the aircraft and verify that the approach panel has indeed been filled out completely. So, minimums, Barrow 209, and then we've got auto brake, BTV, and that's the approach checklist completed. As we are descending down on the approach, there's a couple of things that we want to keep our head around. And first of all, that is going to be our distance from the airport and our altitude. So, on the bottom of the flight plan page, we can see that our distance right now is 28 miles. Our altitude is 7,000 feet, and if we do the mathematics, we've got 7 times 3 is 21, plus 5 miles to lose our airspeed, 26, so we should be 26 miles out. And indeed, we are 26 miles out down here, so we are perfectly on profile. In the descent, you want to run this calculation in your head every 1,000 feet, so that you really ensure that your aircraft is on an appropriate path. Now, whenever we are descending and we're entering some clouds, think icing. So have a close look. Today the temperature is more than high enough, so icing is not going to be of any concern to us. So we're about to reach the decel point on the nav display, indicated by the D over here, and that is where the approach phase is going to activate. Now, once the approach phase activates, the aircraft is automatically going to slow down to the speed setting appropriate for the current flap setting. So in clean configuration it will go down to the green dot speed, with config 1 selected it'll go down to the 1 speed, and so on. Now, as a general rule of thumb, conducting approaches, you want to have flaps 1 out latest about 15 miles from your airport, with a speed down to somewhere close to your green dot speed. So that's rather important settings over here that you really want to ensure you are meeting. Alright. So, we are going to cross the decel point in a few moments, and our speed target is going to go down. Running our mental calculations, we can see we're 20 miles from our landing runway right now. 4,000 feet times 3, 12, plus 5 from our airspeed, so 17 miles. So we are looking pretty good in terms of our energy management. Now we are approaching the decel point, and the speed target is going to go down to our green dot speed, and with that our airspeed is going to start reducing. Well, And that is going to be it for our approach tutorial. I hope that you have learned something on this one. Be sure to like, comment and subscribe. And if you really love what I'm doing on this channel, I would appreciate a small donation through the Buy Me a Coffee link in the video description below. Thank you for watching, and see you all again on the next one.